Welcome to Always Analog, where we celebrate the beauty of analog technology in the digital world. So today we are not going to have a pencil review or review of anything really, but rather it is an opportunity for me to respond to a number of you who asked me to do a handwriting video, something that really just focused on handwriting. And it's absolutely my pleasure to do that. I'm going to attempt at least to make a first installment in that effort here with a handwriting video. So, handwriting is something that is important to us all. Anybody who has the need to communicate, which I think should be just about every person on the planet. The idea that we can write by hand is getting to be a bit of a rarity now because we communicate so much in a digital way. Just as we're communicating digitally now, and what a great, advancement to have this technology that we can share these things like on a platform like YouTube. However, what we're talking about is really the ability to write and the ability to have good handwriting or penmanship. So I'm not talking about calligraphy. Calligraphy is a form of art and it's beautiful, and I wish that I had such talent. I'm talking about everyday handwriting and penmanship. So this is what I want to discuss. And the other thing I want to talk about is the instruments by which we write. And I think that there is sometimes a feeling that if you only had the right instrument, the right pencil, the right pen, if I just had that one fountain pen, or if I just had that one pencil, I could write so much better. The instrument you use, while it can enhance your writing ability, it does not create an instant skill that isn't there already, if it's not there. So as an example, I could go out and buy a Stradivarius, perhaps the finest instrument ever created in the world, but if I had a Stradivarius, believe me, I would not play violin any better than if I had some cheap violin that I found at a flea market, because I really don't know how to play the violin. So having a great instrument won't help me. Handwriting is, like everything, a result of practice and effort and time spent. So whether we're talking about sports or we're talking about some other sort of skill, playing a musical instrument, whatever it might be, singing, any kind of talent, the more you put into it, the greater you will become and the more you will get out of it. So I'm going to use this paper. You can buy, this is a handwriting tablet. You can see grades 1, 2, and 3. Well, I hope I've advanced a little bit beyond that, but I like these tablets, and you can get them at any dollar store. I like these tablets because they're designed, to teach young students, to help them as they learn to write. And they are marked with guides that help us form our letters. So here, the red line is your bottom line. The dashed line is your middle, and then the blue line is your top line. And we will use these lines as a way to help guide us in letter formation. So I'm going to use this wonderful Musgrave News 600 pencil. today because it has a softer, darker, bolder core. It also has a wider core, so that will help create a nice, thick, and easy to see line on the paper. I find that these pencils are wonderful for this kind of a thing. And often when you see pencils designed for kids who are learning to write, they have a larger core. They often have a larger barrel because they have smaller hands, so it helps them hold on to it. And while this is a great pencil and very inexpensive, you can use any pencil. Maybe you like a black wing, maybe just a plain cedar pencil, of course, a good old #2 school office pencil. They're all instruments. I find that, though, in practicing handwriting, that a softer pencil, a pencil with a softer, darker core, is more helpful. You could also use a ballpoint pen if you just aren't into pencils. That's okay. Use a ballpoint pen, and I might even suggest that you use something like a Bic Crystal Bold, which has a 1.6 millimeter ball. It's wider, and it provides a darker line. It's very smooth, and it will help you as you push and pull that instrument across the paper. But softer pencils too, that are smooth, like this Musgrave News, there's not a scratchiness to it, there's not a waxiness to it, and the scratchy and the waxy sometimes will drag that pencil, and it will create a contact on the page that is less conducive to really writing practice and the free movement of the arm, okay, or the wrist. Now we'll also start talking about holding a pencil. So now I understand that a person may have dexterity issues or physical limitations, and so perhaps a different sort of grip might be necessary. But if you are able, to me, this 3-point grip is the best grip for holding a pencil or a pen, a ballpoint pen, like so. And it really helps, gives you the most control. I actually have a permanent indentation here in this, and that is because that is from more than 50 years of pencil holding every day. And so this is what happens after, five decades plus of writing. But it's not a bad thing at all, actually. The pencil just fits right in that little groove. If you're a left-hander, again, the grip is the same. It just obviously on the left hand. So I'm right-handed. We're going to get the paper in position here. I am right-handed, so that means that the paper should be angled with the upper right corner elevated. If I was writing left-handed, we would do it the opposite way. We would have the upper left-hand corner elevated. But since I am right-handed, this is what we're going to do. Okay? So, there is my warm-up to the actual handwriting. And I'm going to use this pencil, and I'm going to start with printing. Let's do printing first, before we get into cursive. And generally, we would learn printing before we would learn cursive, and that just helps us create our basic letters. So you see here with the A, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Bottom of the letter, top of the letter, the cross on the A is in the middle, the B. Top loop, bottom loop, okay? C, D. Okay, there's our alphabet. So we'll erase here. This pencil does not come with an eraser, but I put one on. And that's the beautiful thing about using a pencil, because mistakes are made. And this is a part of life. And eraser lets you know that a mistake can be corrected. And it took me a while to learn that lesson, but once I did, it changed my outlook. So have an eraser, or if you're just exercising, just keep on going. All right, we're gonna do our lowercase letters now. And I think you'll find that in printing a lowercase letter, that hyphenated, that dashed line is even of more importance, because that really sets our top line for many of our lowercase printed letters. So as an example, the A, B, there it is. Okay, so we've got our caps, we've got our lowercase. Now we'll go on and do some cursive letters. And see how that does. Okay, there we have our cursive. Now, for our lowercase cursive, an exercise that I do almost every day, and I do it multiple times. In particular, if I'm going to be doing an always analog video, as a way to sort of warm up, to sort of limber up, get my muscles and reflexes sort of conditioned to writing, because obviously if I'm doing a pencil or a pen review, there will be writing involved. And writing is very much a motor skill, which is a reason why it's very important that people continue to learn how to write, because it is your eye looking at the page and your brain telling your arm and your wrist how to move that instrument, and that your eyes seeing it and feeding back to your brain, and that process of fine motor skills in creating the impression that you're leaving on the page is so important. And what I do is I do a continuous alphabet of lowercase. The reason I tend to write in cursive more frequently is because printing actually takes longer for me, because the letters are not connected. In cursive writing, while the words are separated, the letters within the words are all connected. It's one motion with the instrument before it's lifted up and going to the next word. When you're printing, you're lifting after each letter. So this is why I prefer cursive, because frankly, it's faster. However, that's a double-edged sword, because if you find that your writing is not good, one of the things you may be doing is writing too fast or trying to write too fast. So slow it down. But once your cursive writing gets a little bit more refined, you can pick up the speed a little bit and still write with the same clarity. So let me do an alphabet line here and show you what I mean. Cross the X, cross the T, dot the I, dot the J. There you go. One constant. We're going to do it again. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. X, T, J, I. Great way, there's your lowercase cursive, a great way to just limber up. Do this 10 times a day. I do, and it will really help you. Then we can do them individually. They'll stand out a little bit better. Let's see. There we go. So, just this little time spent on handwriting. And I hope this is maybe what you wanted. I hope so. I'm happy to do more of it. Let me know in the comments, because I love writing. And I know that there are a number of viewers who use pencils for drawing. And that's a talent that I don't possess, but I certainly appreciate. And then perhaps there are people like me who really only use pencils for writing. but I love to write, and I am an advocate for the tradition of cursive handwriting. Again, not asking anyone to be calligraphers, but to have good penmanship by which we can communicate, we can write letters, we can write notes, and we can share stories and thoughts, and fill our journals and cards and letters with meaningful language through the use of handwriting. So that's part of what this is all about. So if you like what we do here, please share and subscribe and like. You know what? Thank you for watching. I'll look forward to seeing you again soon here on Always Analog.